And I think that was just a nice flex for Scott, mostly because we know Scott to be a very toxic man. If there's one thing he's going to do, he's going to cheat on G. And he is going to put everything else before her. Okay? He's going to put mutants, the team, all of that. Like, that's what he does. And I feel like their relationship is in a very good place right now. What's been presented in the books, they're a unit again. Like they're doing good things, they're working together well, and like for him to finally come back and be like, you know what, my girl is the Phoenix. I don't want like you can't do anything to me. Like even if you know who I am, Scott Summers. Like I still got this one behind me, and I thought that was
Yeah, I think Scott's great. He may not be my personal favorite mutant, but I've always said this.
I want. So my shirt is the Outback X-Men team. I want to see if I can find a version that takes out Longshot and replaces him with Gateway.
Oh, I mean, he was definitely like a member of the team too.
He was there. There's like a whole issue where Rogue takes him something as a gift because he's a part of the team. I kind of
Rogue is real.
She's fine.
She a real friend.
She's cool.
I see you keeping the shade to a minimum.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Hi. This is another episode of another relaunch. We're your host. I am Escocita Extraordinaire Potira.
Oh, okay. I like that. I am going to be Mr. Andrew Pulaski, aka Apollo.
Oh, I was about to say, who's Andrew Pulaski?
I know it. Everyone just calls him Apollo.
I never call him that. But yes, that's a good one. He had a good week.
Midnighter calls him Andrew when he mad. I'm sure you've seen that.
But a lot of my favorite Midnighter stories are ones where Apollo isn't
there. That's fine. That's interesting because my favorite Apollo ones are usually when he not next to Midnighter.
Yeah,
I love them as a couple. I love
they're
them
really
as
good together, and like the love they have for each other is like really cool. But it's like when they kind of go out and do their own things, it's like yes, do that.
Yes, and they're not going nowhere. They're gonna be together.
Because Apollo gonna always come back.
Yeah, that's his man. Midnighter ain't going nowhere. How are you?
I'm doing well. I got the new beats, the Kim Kardashian tone ones, but so I actually got the tone that is like a tone lighter, shade lighter than my actual skin. And so my friends were like, Keenan, the whole point is that it's matches your skin tone. And I was like, well, I'll get some skin bleach or something and we'll make it work because the lighter pairs are like cute. And those are the ones I want in my ears.
Okay, maybe you can start in something. Maybe it don't have to match. It's got to be like a little off.
I've gotten so many compliments. People are like, "Oh, your earbuds are so cute." I'm like, "Thank you."
Do you like them?
I love them. Oh, it's over for my AirPods completely.
I need to get some new ones. Over.
I was thinking that because mine has been giving me this weird issue. Like whenever I get on a FaceTime call or something like that, people can never hear me. They're like, "What's going on?" Like, they say you sound very far away. So, but then as soon as I take my headphones out, boom, clear as day. So I was like, Apple's been clicking down anyway. They don't need me.
They getting some more of my money. I need a new phone.
Just wait until you can get a.
I've already done that. I'm still using an iPhone X.
Oh. What?
Yeah. Yeah. Because every time I'm like, oh, they didn't really change too much. Like I'll just wait for the next one.
I mean, but
that has happened now for the last like 4 years.
I was gonna say it's like I usually wait 2 phones to get to
the same. So typically I do. I was supposed to have gotten the 12, but I didn't really care about the changes.
Like, hasn't there been a 13?
Yeah, I think there's a 13 now. I'm just gonna get the 14. I think the 14 comes out in like 2 weeks.
That's probably why my phone acting funny now.
You know what happens? It's time.
It's over for now.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm back in LA. Um, you know, spent some time in Chicago, got to see my family and friends, which was great. But yeah, I'm back out here. Sunny LA. It's hot as hell. It's been like a heat wave out here.
It's been cooling down in the District of Columbia, which has been really nice because it's like a swampland here. I think it's supposed to get like kind of muggy out again today, so I've like avoided outside. But there's also a jazz festival happening.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, but the people are like they're outside sweating, so I was like, I'll catch it on
Oh,
streaming or something. They put
yeah.
everything online these days, and you can just enjoy from the
You
comfort
do.
of your own bed, baby. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. Order some wings and watch it on streaming. That's how I
Oh my
look at it.
god, I got some wings the other day. Yes, because y'all
My
know I
man was
hate cooking.
hitting.
Because I hate cooking. And so I like got some wings and I started watching X-Men Evolution again. I've been like rewatching that entire series and that is quality. It's also made me realize that we do not need X-Men 97, but we can get like the
Never
Evolution
did.
9 or something like that. That never did. But I don't know. I was like, that's the show that we need to keep alive because it was clearing. The
Hmm.
Apocalypse arc, especially, I just got to that. I actually just got to the episode where Rogue's powers kind of went crazy and she started like beating up the whole team and she was doing all of that. And I was like, she was kind of the star of the show.
She was. I always say that that was such a great representation for a Rogue outside of like the whole emo thing. I don't really like that part because she's supposed to be more of like a Southern belle. But whatever, it
Right.
was the early 2000s. We were all emo back then.
They made all the girls goth. Wanda had her little goth moment when she came on the scene too.
Yeah. And her like bowl cut. Everybody.
Mm.
Everybody kind of was goth back then. But Rogue was able to like show herself and like what she could do without just relying on like the Ms. Marvel powers that they had for her back then. She was like using her abilities, which I thought was really cool. Um, I thought that was still the best representation of Jean. She
Yeah,
was Jean.
that was Jean. She was a good Jean.
Yeah,
The episode where she had to go and rescue Cyclops from Mystique, that was
her man.
beautiful. I was like, this is actually like, and honestly, again, watching these episodes, and this actually ties into the comics this week with X-Men 14, it's making me really been thinking a lot about Scott and Jean as a couple. And I was like, they're kind of cute together. And
They are.
I'm a skimmer person. I like Sky and Emma, but like the more I think about it, I was like, I kind of get what you say when you were like, Scott is meant to be with Jean. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah, they're not going. Yeah.
I see it.
They not going nowhere. They gotta. That's just who they supposed to be with.
But it
Lean
works
into
because
it.
I also now want Emma with Steve Rogers or Tony Stark.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well,
Why them?
they alluded
Capitalism?
to something. Well, for Tony and Emma, yes, I think they'd be like a fun little capitalist couple doing their little schemes and projects and all that stuff and having a good time. But they'd always be honest with each other because Tony's ego and Emma is Emma. I think Steve is someone who is very similar to Scott in a way that it grounds Emma. And he's just a very nice guy. I think the last two galas, he's also made a bit of an impression on her. I was just rereading the Hellfire Gala shoot the other day. And I was like, their moment was really cute and how he helped her kind of come to terms with how to mend her relationship with Starfire. And he does
Mm.
it in a way that he's very confident and secure in who he was. I feel like Scott during their time together, obviously it was a very hard time for mutants. We went through IVX and all of those things. She came on the scene at a very tumultuous time. The way they got together, it was just a lot of scrutiny. With Steve, you don't get any of that. It's just like, here's this Boy Scout staple that she kind of loves, who does what she needs to do and gives her love and support and lets her do what she needs to do. And you don't got none of the baggage of having his wife walking in on you.
That was funny. But like, do you think Steve would forgive her nastiness? Because that ain't going away. And she's a nasty, nasty lady.
Yes, but I also think Emma is the type of character where when things like that happen, she tries to turn it around. She would be
Mm,
nicer for Steve.
mm, hmm. I don't really care about Emma, so I don't know.
I mean,
I can't comment on that.
I don't know if I would say I care about Emma, but I was just reading the Hellfire Gala issue again, and I was like, oh, this is cute. Especially again when you think about like all the stuff that's been going on with Jean and Scott and like their relationship and that being really showcased and Emma kind of moving to the side. I think a lot of people are really used to Emma Frost and Cyclops for whatever reason, or like Emma Frost and Namor. And I think about Namor, like that doesn't really ever feel like it's going to be something long term.
I think that's
But
hot.
it's hot, but it's like
I'm team Emma and Namor.
but it's like, okay, this is fun. Like you the flame who we can call, but like we not getting married.
I think they could make it. Honestly, I think that they are like they would be the batteries in each other's backs on being like conquering everything.
Namor is too much about being like above, and Emma likes to be in charge. You need a man who's like not going to mind sitting back.
He would do that for Emma.
I don't think he would.
He'd be obsessed with blondes.
That's his thing, so I've heard. But I don't really see Emma Namor. I see Emma Namor, and Emma Namor to me reminds me a lot of like Betsy and Neil. It's hot, it's fun, but it's like, okay, that's all it is at the end of the day. Like you're not gonna do nothing serious. I think Emma needs something, a different type of balance, or from what I've seen from her character personally, that's what I feel like. And I feel like Steve does that. I feel like Tony does it also in a different kind of way. They get married in one potential future, so it's like, hey. And now Duggan's writing the Iron Man book, and you know he loves some Emma. So,
it could happen.
it
could happen. I don't know. I feel like Emma probably does need someone that would like match her, I guess, in a way. But I don't know. I just hope she would move on from Cyclops because like.
And
that's just never gonna happen.
I think people are kind of just used to like Emma being with Cyclops. Like when you think about Emma, who have been any of her like real major relationships outside of Cyclops and Namor? If that's even like
I think those two were the biggest.
Yeah, and it's like,
ones.
And I think when a lot of times fans get familiar with something or they remember like, oh, I like the stories at this time, so it's like, yeah, well, I would not reverse that. It was a big thing with like Betsy and Angel. People like Betsy and Angel. I think like. Whatever, he's kind of boring and he drags her down. But like they say, oh, I think about my favorite stories from those days. They were together. Their relationship was cool. And it was like, I don't know, he was always kind of complaining and crying about that. Like, can you get up? And then she was just cheating on him. I was like, it didn't really seem that good to me. But nonetheless, it's just like, but you had a couple, you keep moving from that. I think with Emma, it's like, okay, she had these good stories. She's moved on from that. Who do you make new for her? Give her something new to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like Emma hasn't had something new to do in a very long time.
Yeah. She definitely needs something a little fresher than fighting with Jean and being the girlfriend to Scott.
And it's not even really like a fight with Jean because she loses every time.
Right. I mean, second best to Jean is what I should say. Like, that's got to be tired. Move on and do something else. There are other things.
There's other men on the island, I'm sure. Don't people like her with Banshee?
You asking the wrong person. Oh wait, weren't they headmasters together, right, or something?
For Generation X, I do not like that team.
That's not my vibe.
I got attacked by the Sync fans the other day because I was like, oh, I don't like Sync, and they were like, what? And I was like, I don't like any of Generation X except for like Monet and Mondo. Mondo more so just because he has cool powers, and Monet because she's fun.
Yeah, Monet's fine.
You hate Monet, so I know you're lying.
I'm just not as interested in Monet outside of being catty. Like, I don't care. Sorry. I don't care.
You like hate Monet.
She does not move me.
I think she's interesting.
I like her more than Emma.
Oh, that's not
Emma. I definitely don't like. I'm sorry.
What did you? That's because like you're still Team Jean. You're very much still Team Jean.
Emma just doesn't move me. I'm sorry, y'all. I wish someone who is out there is a Emma Frost stan. Tell me what you like about her that I could see too. Because for me, it's just she's just sassy comments and some cute outfits. But like the stories don't move me.
I think
she'd be there with her money and her heels, and that's about it.
I like her diamond form.
And people try to say she's always doing it for the kids, but she always fails at that, and is not nice to the kids.
I will agree with that. She's always getting some kids killed. But I saw a tweet one day. It was like when Emma Frost leaves, children bleed. And when I tell you that stuck with me, I don't think
that's
I've
funny.
ever been able to not think about that when I think about him now. I'm just like, as soon as she pops up on a page, like that's all I hear in my head. It's like, wow, get this lady out of here.
They're not wrong. They're not wrong at all.
I mean, but now they
I
can
think
come
she's in a
back.
nice role for herself, right? A council spot is where I would picture Emma. She's not on nobody's field or like
I like Emma on the field.
anything.
I won't lie.
To do
I think
what?
Emma on the field is fun. Emma gets in there. She'll go into diamond form. She'll throw a few punches if she needs to.
The last time she did that, she got her arm broke off.
We're not talking about every time it happens. We're just talking about in general. Like she does it. Like things happen in battle. People die
She's out
sometimes.
playing walkie-talkie.
But she does that. She's also gets kind of active with her telepathy. Did you ever read the astonishing miniseries written by Warren Ellis?
Which costume was she in? Was she in?
She had.
Was that
So
the black
she had like.
one?
Yes, she had on like that hoochie white costume with her boobs.
Yes, I remember this costume.
With the hoop earrings. That
With the
was a
hoop.
look. Yeah. That was her Black China
Yes.
moment. She was cool in that miniseries too. I thought she was doing some interesting things where she was like taking control of the guys. Emma's good for like putting a thought in somebody's head and kind of making them go away or like vomit on themselves or do whatever. I think she's effective in that way.
A telepathic suggestion.
Yeah.
A nudge. I like my telepaths a little bit more aggressive.
I don't.
A little bit more active out there too with their telepathy, illusions, and doing more stuff. I like them when they take control of someone too and like make them go off and go do something else and do that kind of stuff. That's cool. And I do like a walkie-talkie.
I don't necessarily. I do like a walkie-talkie. I'll actually agree with you there. I like a walkie-talkie who is able to do other things while they play walkie-talkie.
Exactly.
Like, don't just stand on the side and be the walkie-talkie. Like, you can still be like in the mix.
Like Emma.
Emma gets in there. That's when she goes.
Like
well,
Emma.
when Emma gets in there, she can't be the walkie-talkie anymore because she goes on a diamond form.
Exactly. So
I don't know why you have been making
you can't do both of
them for 15 minutes, but like I
don't know how we got here. I don't know how we got here. Anyway, moving on. There are no updates this week. There's been kind of a slow week, probably because next week is D23. There's going to be a lot of things coming out of that. As we saw on the list of movies coming out, there was a significant chunk of them missing. So we'll see what's coming. I personally feel like there's one of those might be Wonder Man.
Okay.
Since that was already announced, I do think they're probably just officially announced maybe like 2 other shows that have been kind of.
I've asked you before, but who do you have like is your dream casting for Wonder Man?
Oh, Yaha.
Oh, you have something else. I like it. Someone said Henry
Black
Golden
Mantle's done.
the
Let's
other
move
day.
on.
It is that whole
thing is done. We can move on. Let's
but
get
no, someone said Henry Golding to me a few weeks back
on like the short list for that too. He'd be cool.
Yeah, I was like, I actually really enjoyed that. You know, he's been trying to play action star, but someone also said Bond for him. I can't remember who, and I like that too.
Wouldn't be bad. What was the guy's name who played in True Blood?
Skarsgård?
No, he played a werewolf. Joe Manganiello.
Oh, the guy who played. A lot of people like him for a lot of things. I don't know. I don't see it.
He wouldn't be bad for the man.
He just big.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think people have rumored about Henry Cavill being Wonder Man, but I think that would just be Marvel being nasty because they would definitely have him play of a movie of him being like a Superman thing or something. So
Yeah,
I don't really see that.
The Brian Braddock fans love him. That is
They
who
do.
they want. But it's like also interesting to me because I feel like a lot of people who want him in these type of roles, like, have you seen him do anything other than Superman? Why are you just making him another variation of the same character?
True. Well, they probably seen him in Downton Abbey, and he was also in what was the movie where he cocked his hands when he was ready to punch somebody?
Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
He was good in Mission Impossible. I liked him in that. I also liked him in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. with Alicia Vikander and that man who shouldn't be spoken of. So,
Right.
but Henry was good.
See, he's doing things.
I mean, I've seen him. I'm a fan of him.
The Witcher.
But I don't see him as Wonder Man or Brian. I just think it's interesting how people like tend to put him in the character same archetype. It was like strong, flying, brick, Superman. It's like
you know what's funny? Because the people have been really guessing. They've been really hype about him appearing in the MCU. There have been rumors that he spoke with some people, and allegedly, because of the multiverse stuff, people think that he's going to be Hyperion, and that the rumor is that Kang, of course he can't just be out there fighting by himself. He will also have his own guard, and the rumor is that Kang will have the Squadron Supreme as his. People and the Avengers would be fighting, knockoff Justice League members. So like,
that would be fun. Actually, I would enjoy that.
And of course, they were wondering if Henry Cavill would be Hyperion.
That would be nasty. It would. But I would be here for it. I would support it. I'm not gonna lie, because at this point, DC deserves all of the bad things that they get.
See, that is true. It should be easy.
It really should be. It shouldn't be this hard.
Be easy.
It should have been like, a Superman movie, $1 billion. Batman movie, $1 billion. Wonder Woman movie, $1 billion. Justice League movie, $1 billion. Like, none of it should have been this hard.
And here we are.
Aquaman is your best-selling movie.
That is truly wild. Meanwhile, your competition is giving us She-Hulk throwing ass with Megan Thee Stallion.
And you're going to give us a third Wonder Woman movie with Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins. Are you serious? Like, be serious.
Wow.
It looks stupid now.
But you have to wait. You have to wait.
You have to wait. Like, are you kidding me? That's what you want to green light. But good for them, though. Harley Quinn did get a 4th season renewal. And that's
yes, she did. Yeah.
So shout out to her. They need to give Selena a spinoff or something.
Oh, Queen. I love them together. But yes, not too many comments this week. We'll be coming back next week with a lot more updates from D23. And I'm sure there'll be some stuff coming out of everyone else trying to compete with that too. So more updates next week.
Do you prefer apple juice or orange juice?
Apple juice.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
I like apples. I really like apples. It's like one of my favorite fruits.
Is that like your fruit?
It is one of my favorite fruits. I love apples.
Okay, that's good to know. Fun fact. LZ likes apples. Welcome back, everyone. This is the comic section of the show. And it was a nice week this week. We had some new things stepping out. And before we get to the main book, so I'll go ahead and do some mentions. Iron Fist #5 came out. That was the finale of this series written by Alyssa Wong. And I actually really liked it. I think it's kind of weird in the beginning, the Lin guy who was previously Swordsmaster, his sword charms broke and they were like stuck in his arm. And he was like, there was all this stuff going on, and that's how he's been using the power of the Iron Fist. And I was like, oh, that's gotta suck, because he's constantly talking about how he's in pain because he has these glass shards in his arm. But this issue, he like learned how to do something really cool using the powers, and he can like make them into a sword on his like arm now. So it was just like a fun little interesting moment. It turned out to be a fun miniseries. I highly recommend people get into it. I hope everybody who was like championing the Asian Iron Fist movement for Netflix and all of that good stuff and was talking about that, I truly hope they all went out and supported this book, and I hope you guys do too. This is what we asked for. We got it. It was good. Support it. He's going to show up again in Avengers External X-Men event. He is getting his own tie-in issue because I guess who isn't for this?
Everybody is, but at least they're like legitimizing him. He's in the event, like he's.
And it's really interesting. Loki got involved in the end, so you know he's always around. But
he's even got Loki appearances. They making him for real. Okay.
You know they've created like their little Asian trinity on the low. If you've noticed, it's actually going to be this Iron Fist character, Shang-Chi, and the girl White Fox.
Oh, I like White Fox. She's got
she's hot. She's hot. I've been doing a little deep dive on her too. She's got some fun stuff. It was kind of hard to find it on Marvel Unlimited because you type her name, it's like, oh, there's nothing that pops up. But I was like, some of the books that she's in, I know are on this thing. So it's like,
well, Marvel Unlimited, they gotta up it a little bit.
It's a horrible app.
It's got everything you need. It needs a little bit of better user face.
Does yours ever do the thing where if the pages aren't loading, it shows the Hydra symbol?
No. No.
I don't know what was going on with this app one day, but I opened it up and like none of the pages on my books were loading, but it was all just like Hydra symbol on it, and it was like an actual jump scare. I was like,
oh no.
But I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool that they did that. I was like, that's interesting. It's one redeeming quality. But also Moon Knight Black, White and Blood #4 came out. That was the finale of that. That's just been a fun bunch of little stories in Black, White, and Red. Action Comics, Superman, Warworld, Apocalypse was out as well. Apollo fans, this is for you.
Yes. This was the finale. You know, we won't go too much into it. Obviously, it's just getting a little mention because I don't know what else to say other than it's great. So
yeah. He's done it. Superman is like really good. His book is good.
Yeah.
And with that, I want to get some of the main books of the week. The first one that we had was the Wonder Girl Annual, and that was written by Joelle Jones, and we had like a bunch of different artists on it: Douglas Marquez, Emily Lenox, Adriana Melo, Sweeney Boo, I love her name, and Jordie Bellaire was on colors. And I loved it. I don't know what to say. I like it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna stick beside it. I thought the book was good. Honestly, it's two different stories in one. On one half, we have the Esquicitas. They have taken Yara back to Brazil so she can go meet the young man from her series that she fell in love with. And I thought it was absolutely hilarious because basically the entire time, Yara is like, you know, I did y'all little trial. Take me back to my man. Because that's where I want to be. And I think about Yara as a character, and one thing about this girl is like she does not want to work. She does not want to do any of this stuff for real. And it's like when you wanted her to be Wonder Girl, she was like, I don't want to do this. She did the trial. She was like, I really don't want to do this. Now she's with the tribe and she needs to be trained and stuff. But she's like, take me back to my man. Even when you think about Dark Crisis, John came to her and was like, oh, be in my Justice League. She said, absolutely not. It was just like, this is what she wants to do, but she's doing it anyway. So I thought that was fun. And it brought back one of the villains from that series as well. The ending of the series was very abrupt, and I will say that was super jarring and kind of takes some points away from me. It's literally like after they go and fight the villain, this alligator goddess named Kuka, who had actually possessed the boyfriend and sent some monsters to destroy the tribe. At the end of it, like, after they beat her, they're back where they live, and they're like, okay, Yara, let's go get to work. And she's like, cool, let's take a shortcut. And that was the last panel. It was just like,
oh,
okay. Like I flipped it like, oh, where are we going next? And it was just like, oh no, like that was really it. Like we just took a shortcut to the end of the book. But nonetheless, it was fun. I'm always going to be a fan of the Esquicitas and like seeing them on panel. I think the designs are hot. I think the girls, I love women. I love women warriors. I love women tribes. I love Amazons. So this all kind of spoke to me. I thought it was nice that they're continuing Yara's story, adding some more like meat to the villains that she already has. And we got to see a few more of the sisters and how they interact together. There's the one that's like the child for all the lovers of child warriors. She is for you. She's smart. She has like a special power that allows her to see the alligator goddess Kuka. Her name is because she's from an old like legend. I am not 100% sure if that is like a genuine Brazilian legend or not, but
that's fair.
I know that has been something. But I did like when I was doing some Googling, there was apparently like this cartoon, I think they used to come out in Brazil, and it was like they had a character named Kuka, and she was like an alligator thing. So.
Oh, yeah, that lady with the blonde hair?
Yes, that one.
Yes. She was a meme on on Twitter a while ago.
Yes. Her. Yes. Exactly. That's Kuka. So that's who showed up in the book. So it was fine. All in all, I'd give it like a 3 out of 5. I think it was like, a fun little story for the girls and the Esquicitas to get to see them. And for Yara, she's another one who the synergy did not hit, unfortunately. So her little books just got canceled. But I like that she got this annual. I really hope her and Jackson get something good.
What's next for Yara? Or are they just going to put her in limbo?
She was in Nubia's book, helping Nubia do some stuff. She got this, and she's in Dark Crisis right now. But that's really all we've got. I don't know. We'll see. We'll wish for the best. We like Yara. All right. And next up on the list is Thunderbolts #1, and that comes from Jim Zub and Sean Izaakse.
Isaac, I think I'm pronouncing his name. Apologies.
Apologies, that's wrong. I say it all the time. Marvel needs to
Izaakse? Izaakse? I don't know.
Where you can do the phonetic pronunciation of someone's name. You remember when they used to put that in the books?
Yeah.
Do that again.
Yeah. So this is the first issue of Thunderbolts, and I have to say this was a lot of fun. Very like quintessential superhero book. Luke Cage is now like the mayor of Hell's Kitchen, and I personally think this is a perfect status quo for him. For a character who is such an old character, like he's been around for years.
I will say Luke Cage, I feel like he has had one of the most natural character evolutions. And like anybody in comics, like I'd put him in like top 10 for sure, because the way they've taken him from like what he is to like Mayor Luke Cage has been wonderfully done.
It's perfect. I think that is a perfect like next step for him going into mayor, instead of just putting him in limbo or just getting rid of him or repeating being Power Man or something again. They moved him on because of course on this team there's a new Power Man. Exactly. And so this team consists of Hawkeye, who is leading it. Luke Cage says he went to him directly to go in because he wanted him to do it, even though that's a lie. He really went to Spectrum first. And we see a little bit of that in this. There is Persuasion, who is, I guess, Purple Girl, who I thought she was a new character, but turns out she is not. She is actually an older character who used to be in Alpha Flight. She found out that her dad is Purple Man. Way back then, and she has powers similar to him, but she's now joined the team as Persuasion. There's a guy named Guts and Glory who is basically every like 90s cliche that you could find. He's got like the big cable gun and is like a tech guy. The new Power Man is on it. Everybody had one. And the only thing he's really missing is a jacket. There's also America Chavez. She's on the team. And yeah, this is like a really fun, like everybody's kind of joining the team. This issue starts with Hawkeye. He's actually talking to Wonder Man on the phone. He calls Simon and he's like, "Hey, Simon." And Wonder Man's like, "Who is this?" He's like, "It's Hawkeye." He's like, "Who?" He's like, "It's Hawkeye from West Coast Avengers." And he's basically trying to get like the team back together. And the way Hawkeye is going about it is very old school. Like he's like, "Oh, we should get West Coast Avengers up and running again with me, Wonder Man. We can get Wanda and Vision in there." It's very doing that, but he's not realizing that people have like moved on. Everybody's like doing something different now. Like Luke Cage is the mayor, and the Thunderbolts previously were the team by Kingpin, but now they're trying to like rebrand the team. So they even have these moments, which we talked about with Jim Zub, where there's this woman who is like the PR person of the team, basically, and she's like, we need a leader, we need a an energy slinger, we need specific roles for the team, which was really cool to kind of see play out after having that conversation with Jim. And then we see them like kind of go onto a little earlier mission. The old Thunderbolts, including Taskmaster and Electro, they're all out there like, being villains, and the Thunderbolts are going in to be heroes. Of course, America runs off and does something before Hawkeye can give the plan or whatever. She ends up like taking some bullets to the face by Taskmaster. He was literally shooting her in the face, but they bounce off of her, which was a really cool moment.
I guess I was about to say, I also don't think that should have been able to happen because of the way her powers are working right now. But like, it's been very inconsistent across the board. I think the thing is, it's supposed to be inconsistent. So
I think so too, because in this, they have some downtime afterwards, and you see that's where each character is going to have their own kind of story within this team. And Persuasion came to America Chavez and was like, "Hey girl, you want to like go out?" And she's like, "No, I can't." And she's like, "Why not? You can't portal us there?" And she's like, "Oh, like we can do that another time." And it looks like something is wrong with her portals or something like now. So
I know you didn't read her miniseries, but in her miniseries, like her powers got affected, and so basically she's been losing them. They've been fluctuating, and so that's kind of been her storyline as she's been appearing in a bunch of things. She was in some story with Wiccan and Hulkling a few months ago, and right now in Defenders, that's the other thing. Like, she gets very tired from creating her portals. She's not as strong to do anything. They actually had to give her the Infinity Mask so she could actually fight somebody in Defenders, because she's like,
oh wow,
yeah.
She's her powers are fading away here too. But yeah, overall, this was a lot of fun. Very fun first issue, getting the team together. We saw Spectrum come in and swoop in and use her powers, which was really cool. I'm interested to see kind of where this little mini team goes and if they're going to be successful. Hawkeye isn't the best leader in my opinion.
And I'm interested in Monica and Persuasion. I'll be here for them.
Yes.
And
Monica does not really want to be on the team.
Yeah.
But she did.
And I'm interested to see like if any stuff from this also leads into her upcoming series.
This will probably springboard into her mini.
So that'll be exciting to see.
Shout out to Monica. This is Monica season. I know that's right. Shout out to Monica.
What would you rate this?
But yeah, overall, I would give this a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah,
for sure. It's a solid first issue. A lot of fun, super heroic stuff.
Love that. Awesome. All right, and our last book of the week is X-Men 14, and that is from Gerry Duggan and C.F. Bellaire. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it every time, but year 2 is taking it. Because
they are.
This
to you.
Issue, this issue, we get to see more of the team. We have some more Judgment Day fallout. There's a giant solar flare like coming to Earth, and like debris is falling, and we got all these things going on, and we just see the team getting into action and getting to it. Jean is being the walkie-talkie of the group, and she is like coordinating with everybody. She's getting Firestar to fly up. We get guest appearance from Rogue coming. Sync does some things, I think, at some point in time, but the biggest star of the issue is probably Iceman himself, who does a lot of work to stop the solar flare, and it's just a really great showing for him. And I think if you're an Iceman fan, you're really going to love that. The ending of it also sees Scott walking up to the Celestial, and I think personally it was like a really good moment. He's about to be judged by the Celestial, and Scott's kind of like, hold on, I'm gonna stop you right there. And he basically just talks about, you can't tell me anything. My wife is Jean Grey. She's the only person who can judge me. We all know that Jean is the Phoenix, and the Phoenix is supposed to be like this big deal to everybody. And so he's like, you can't do anything to me, and you don't want me to bring her here. So it's like, I'm going to just keep on walking. And he's just like, okay, cool.
And he got the thumbs up.
And he got the thumbs up. And I think that was just a nice flex for Scott, mostly because we know Scott to be a very toxic man. if there's one thing he's going to do, he's going to cheat on G. And he is going to put everything else before her. Okay? He's going to put mutants, the team, all of that. Like, that's what he does. And I feel like their relationship is in a very good place right now, what has been presented in the books. They're a unit again, like they're doing good things, they're working together well. And like for him to finally come back and be like, you know what? My girl is the Phoenix. I don't want, like, you can't do anything to me. Like, even if you know who I am, Scott Summers, like, I still got this one behind me. And I thought that was nice.
Yeah, I think Scott's great. He may not be my personal favorite mutant, but I've always said this, that of all of the X-Men, he's had one of the best, like, story arcs of everyone, from the beginning to where he being the good soldier through his Revolution era, and now seeing him as, like, this like, figurehead on Krakoa. He's not like a figurehead in the meanings of like on the council, but he is the X-Men. Like
X-Men. You don't think of anyone else leading the X-Men. He gives the speeches all the time.
Yeah.
Also,
I will never forget that one quote from Nightcrawler, I think in Hellions it was, where he said, you know, yes, we rallied behind Xavier, but when the giant robots with lasers came shooting down, it was Scott who we listened to. So like
well,
let's be real.
Anyways, I thought that the beginning, like jumping back up to the front, the first line of this book being "lose the gay angle." For Iceman, I thought was like absolutely hilarious. Shout out to Gerry for that, because I actually did cackle. But it was a really good issue. Like, I love CF Villa's art. I love this team together. I love the like Firestar scene of Iceman and Bobby like coming down and her talking to her about her powers and then calling them a gift, and just being like, you know, oh, we made a rainbow. I've never made anything with my powers before. Like, kind of come to the terms. So I'm like really interested to see where her story goes. As we know, again, I was just reading the gala, and Tony kind of hinted to her that he wanted her to be his little spy, which I think she might do, especially with Gerry writing the Iron Man book. So I'm interested to see if he takes a story as like she's just going kind of full on with the spy and feeding information to Tony, or if it kind of comes to a thing where it's like she's giving him information, but then she starts to feel bad about it because she like has these mutants, and then we kind of have to come to her with seeing where her loyalties lie. And it's like, I'm not going to put it against her. All the X-Men have a betray the team moment. Let her have hers. Okay.
So you're gonna be okay about it when she does do that.
I don't want to hear anything like, oh, this why Monet should have been here, or this why this that, or it's like she hates me. Da, 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 da. Everybody has betrayed this team at least once. Okay. Let her have her moment and come back.
Yeah, I don't know. They're gonna drag her. They're gonna say, look, there she go being a cop like they expected.
It's like, okay. Just let it go. Go with the story, go with the flow. If it happens, that's what I think is going to happen. I don't know. It could just be like she has a good time on the team the entire time. And like she's just like, yeah. Which is like,
I did appreciate the pause that she had where she changed the way she described her abilities from powers to gifts. Because for someone like, you know, Firestar, her powers were not a gift to her for a while. So I'm sure she did not look at them that way. They were powers. So.
Yeah. And they gave her cancer.
Yes.
It was just like, oh, okay, yeah. So it's like, again, I'm interested to see kind of like the turnaround of what's really going on.
Shout out to Ant-Man for getting that suit for her to be able to heal her. That was nice.
The Avengers did some really good things for her. I don't think, you know, I can't, again, if she's like, oh, I'll give you that information, I get it. I get it. But still, I'm interested to see like where that story goes with her. I think the most interesting thing about this issue was that Havoc was not in it at all, and I thought that was hilarious.
Yes, he was not. Yeah, you know, all the X-Men aren't always there in these books, but I mean, that's the way it seems to be with this run.
But he didn't even get a line. At least Forge appeared in a panel and got to talk. You know, he did his little thing about connecting and what he needed to do. Haven didn't even get to be in the background. Even Sync Rogue showed up.
Which again, that just shows you that if you have been on the X-Men, you are now like on the roster of the X-Men. So my girl, Miss Polaris, got to make a comeback or something, you know, because since it's an option.
But I don't know. I really like the year 2 team. I really like this issue. I'm excited. I'm like excited to kind of be out of Judgment Day. I think we're out of Judgment Day. I don't think the next issue is the Judgment Day tie.
You don't think so?
Is it
I
still?
don't know. Maybe. I think Judgment Day
I
lasts for a while. Oh yeah, because aren't they supposed to? Don't they fight the children of the Atom? But I think that's also still a Judgment Day tie-in.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
we're still in Judgment Day then. But I do like that these Judgment Day tie-ins have it like felt like Judgment Day tie-ins. They're just a team on a mission.
Right. It's still super heroics. That's the part you kind of want to get from this.
So I'm cool with that. And I do like the Children of the Vault, so it'll be interesting to see how they come back.
Yeah.
Firestar's gonna clear it. Yeah. What would you rate this issue?
I would give this issue a 3 out of 5. It was fun.
I give it a 4 out of 5. I thought it was great. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the angle with the news, the Iceman stuff, the Cyclops moment, the moments with him and Magic. And like, I really actually enjoyed the like Cyclops and Magic friendship. You know, Wolverine always gets all the girls, so it's cute when Scott gets like 1 or 2.
Yeah, that's on me. they was running. That was his revolution, sister.
It was. Magic is one of his girls. Pixie, Danny.
Mm.
I don't know. After that, stuff getting murky. But they did. Shout out to him. But those were the books of the week. Let's go ahead. We'll take a break.
Oh wait, let's go ahead and get into the book club.
Oh yeah. Oh look, I forgot the book club 1 week.
See, forgetting them kids. Okay, so for the book club this week, we read New X-Men 31 through 33. Thanks guys for catching back up again and taking that little break with us. But again, I have to say this is getting a little bit better for me. The first issue 31, I didn't really feel it was all about Wither and like him being sad. I don't care.
What did Wither do? Wither's.
I'm sorry. It's like Rogue's story, but like more depressing.
It's like Rogue.
I don't care about that. So 31 was just him being running around being sad and all that kind of stuff. 32 was better for me. We got to see more of the X-Men kind of training. Hellion, you know, talking about. I really love when they break down powers and like their weaknesses, what they can and can't do. And Hellions, you like, you know, I can toss a truck across a room, but I cannot pick up this paperclip because that I'm like not focused with my telekinesis like that. So he's training with that. Emma still being nasty to X-23, X-23, which called us back then. Which I don't know, y'all. This is really like this current reread of the New X-Men has solidified how I feel about the New X-Men. That has not changed. There are still just a few elite ones that I like, and the rest can kind of go. But it has changed the way I feel about Emma Frost. I didn't realize she was just like not a good lady. Like,
yeah, she's never been.
I'm not seeing the qualities here, girls. I'm not seeing it. But I did appreciate Mercury in this issue. She did stand up to Emma for Laura. You know, it was giving a little let's be honest vibe, and which I do like that for Mercury and Laura. Honestly, yeah. Only reason I wouldn't want that is because I don't want people to think she's just Logan. You know what I mean? But I could see Laura with a girlfriend. I could definitely see Mercury with a girlfriend too.
Well, Mercury's had a girlfriend.
A couple. When she cheating?
We're not getting there. We're not bringing that up. Okay? Just said she's had a girlfriend.
All right, I like her. I think she needs I think she needs a profile boost. And then we get some stuff with this Kimura woman and Cher coming back and coming to fight Laura. I keep wanting to call her not Wolverine. She is Wolverine. I don't want to call her X-23. But yeah, this was still fun. Allegedly, I've been told that when we get closer to the Quest for Magic arc is when I'm going to
Quest
start
for
to
Magic
like them a lot.
like that's a arc right there. That was a good one.
We'll see. I do think Mercury deserves. She should be somewhere more
Mercury
now.
deserves. I always like her.
Mhm.
Wither, I thought was like, yes, he's sad, but I think he does make a good villain.
Okay.
That's
not bad. I guess maybe he could go the villain route.
I think his descent into darkness is something that could like be very true. And Celine finding interest in him, I thought was kind of weird, but like also
that lady old.
But it's like, that's the thing. Like Celine's just old. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone's gonna be too young for her at some point. So I
stay off in general. She was in a bra and panty trying to kiss him. Not trying to, she did.
She did it. It wasn't a try. She was the only one he could. You know, his powers are just like a death touch. Like those are the type of mutants. Like you can't be like, yeah, your power's a gift. Excuse me.
Like who is it a gift to?
Like what? But that's like, you know, I don't know. I think I like him as a villain. Other than that, I don't.
Yeah, I was gonna figure out I don't know what to do with him.
I just
other than make him a villain.
Like even when I think about Wither and like the character, he just like wasn't a pleasant person. Which I mean, I guess I also get if my powers were to like kill people with the death touch, like disintegrate them and whatnot. Like I probably wouldn't have a good attitude either.
Yeah.
But he could
have to figure something out.
And she was trying to be like, "What's up?" But he was playing because he was in love with Lori, as he should. But still,
Mercury deserves better than that anyway. So she dodged a bullet.
She did, for sure.
Get her a girlfriend. All right, that is the end of the book club. Join us next time. I'll put the books that we're reading next week. We'll be going through 34, I think, through 39. So check us out next week.
Quest for Magic. Or did 39 start Quest for Magic? It might have been 40. I don't know. When we get there, it's coming up.
We'll see. Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a break, and then we'll come right back.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here to talk about episode 3 of She-Hulk, and this is like
that's a silent episode. The People versus Emil Blonsky.
Oh, was it? Look at that. I couldn't remember Abomination's name, y'all. And I was like, isn't it Emil Blonsky? And it was. But I was like, I just watched it. But regardless, I didn't watch the Hulk movie, so I was like, I couldn't remember anyway.
Fair.
But it was good. You know, this episode we see Jennifer Walters taking on her case with Emil Blonsky Abomination and like just going over the whole process. As we saw last episode, he broke out and he was participating in the underground fight with Wong that we saw back in Shang-Chi. We're kind of going through the story of this and her process of getting that. We find out that Wong actually took Abomination out against his will and he chose to come back. We also learn a little bit more about Mr. Blonsky and what he plans to do outside of prison with his 8 wives, his 8 soulmates.
I know that's right.
That he like met through the prison pen pal system. And while this is all going on, there's also the plot of the Mr. Borowski. He thought he was dating Megan Thee Stallion. With Guardian Elf just impersonating her. So he was taking her to court. And we meet Pug. And Pug is a character from the comics that I enjoy. He was there during the slot run working at the same firm. And shout out to this show for teaching us how to say his last name. Because Puglisi would always appear in the comics, and when it would just come up in the page, I would be like, I don't know what this says. And I don't know what. But when I heard them say it in the show today, I was like, oh yes, look at that.
Now you got it.
We also got another cameo from Renee Goldsberry's character Mallory Book, and like Mallory is like my girl. She was the one who was always giving Jen the business up in the firm. She was like, I really don't like you, and I don't think you're that good at your job. You only here because you're She-Hulk. Like she would give it to.
Oh yeah. So do you feel like they're giving that vibe already for the show too?
Yes, the little cut when they call her in there and she like came in with her little short bob cut and she was like,
Her
"What?"
Bob.
Yeah, and it was like, and they was like, "Well," and then she just like sauntered back out. I was like, "Oh yeah, she's giving me what I need. She looks good." So that was really exciting to see. I love the way they've been doing the firm. But all these two cases are going on at the same time. We see Jen breaking the fourth wall at different points throughout the episode to talk about like how they're different connecting. We also see like a big media frenzy around She-Hulk and surrounding all of the stuff going on with the case, and we see the lies that are being put out in the media saying that she is pregnant with his child or that they're dating, and then we see like reporters attacking her and they're saying, "Oh, is it true that you were rejected from the Avengers?" And then the other reporters like, "Oh yeah, she was rejected from the Avengers." And I thought that was like a really nice nod just to like misinformation and like the media frenzy that we have experienced over the last few years with our political leaders and things like that, and how things could just take off with a moment's notice.
Yeah,
And
that was wild. I thought it was really cool that they had like that Easter egg of her original comic book origin story, how the reporter was
yeah,
like, "Is it true that you were actually attacked by mobsters and that's how you
yeah.
actually got your powers?" I thought that was really cool.
That was good too. Like a lot of fun bits in this show. And I'd say like continuously throughout, the humor is very well placed. There are like multiple points where I'm actually laughing out loud in the scenes. And so we go to both of our cases and both of our teams win. Pug wins his case and Jen wins the case with Abomination. When he kind of turns into Abomination, he freaks everybody out, which I thought that scene was also kind of hilarious because you have all these people running in and people just screaming and he's just standing there like, "Hello." And then they're set free. He gets under his protocols. And at the end of the episode, the wrecking crew comes to try and attack Jen. And it looks like they're trying to get something from her, but she turns into She-Hulk and she beats them back. They run. And then we get a really fun post-credit scene this episode where Jen actually meets the real Megan Thee Stallion, becomes her lawyer, and they twerk. And it's fun and it's hot. And it's exactly what
Hot
I
girl
would
season,
say
baby.
you expect from She-Hulk. Even the scene in the episode where the guy's talking about how he thought he was dating Meg, and she's like, "Are you talking about the Grammy Award-winning Megan Thee Stallion?" It's like, yes, of course Jennifer Walters would be a Megan Thee Stallion fan. That is
The,
absolute she is.
like, of course she'd be like, "It's Megan." Like that's the
Period.
hot girl, and She-Hulk is like the Marvel hot girl. So of course they would
That was
be.
great. That was
I
really
loved
good.
it.
So that cameo was fun. Seeing them twerk was fun. The little dial back. Come on, Megan, with the accent.
I thought that was great. And seeing all the behind the scenes stuff, it looks like Tatiana Maslany is actually like a really big fan of
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion. And really, she wanted that to happen. And Jamil was on the Legendary with her. So she was able to kind of like get that thing to happen. So I thought that was really cool. Not only that
It's
she
good
was
to
an
get
actual
connected.
fan, but like, they did it.
I love it. Thanks to everyone involved for that. Cause like that was not what I knew I needed, but I'm so glad I got it.
Mhm. I have to say, your faves have been doing fairly well in the MCU. Um,
Yeah.
I
Someone's
I
got to.
think it's that's true. I think it's that monkey's paw. You can't have it all
You
because
can. I think
the
someone's always got a
comics are taking a
sacrifice.
sacrifice. I don't really know what's happening to your faves in the comics right now, Betsy.
Someone's always got
But
a sacrifice. But it's like crazy because it's like usually the sacrifices are on the lower tier list. I say you always have like a top 10 character. The ones sacrificing are usually like 6 through 10. So it's like, oh, that's sad, but it's not, the end of the world. So when 1 through 5 is like kind of
yeah.
clicking down, but like 6 through 10 is thriving, it's like, oh wow, okay, this is cool too, I guess.
But hey, I mean, your hot ones are doing great. She-Hulk is on this great
She-Hulk
show.
is like very high up on my list though, so that actually works. Moon Knight is as well. So like it's a good
Sam
and
Cap
bad.
got he's gonna have a whole movie.
I don't know
And
if
his
I
show
want
was
that
good.
guy. His show was good, but I don't know if I want that guy writing it again.
Oh yeah. You want a different team? Different creative team for the movie?
Yes, and I've actually been doing a lot of like Sam reading again. I was reading the Remender Captain America run, and like him and Misty Knight were in it looking good. They're hot, and it made me realize I really do like that relationship a lot. And I kind of hope that they figure out a way to bring that back. But I also didn't like the lady who played Misty Knight in that Luke Cage show. So,
Well, I think most people on those Netflix shows, I don't think a lot of them are gonna come back. They'll probably
I mean,
recast a lot of them.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. But I think they are trying to at least kind of keep their own stuff fresh or whatever. They'll just get a whole new cast of actors for that. But we'll see. But like I said, your MCU faves are kind of thriving out here.
Yeah, that's true. Good for them. I'm happy. Thor was kind of
I don't want to bring that up.
She-Hulk is doing very well. This is like a really good show. And like I know there's been a lot of backlash from like men who apparently are mad she was twerking and all of that stuff. Like, shut up. Like, just shut up. Okay.
Why don't you like women having fun? Why can't women have fun?
It was like the scene where they were interviewing the men and they were talking about like, oh, I don't know why she should do this. She's a woman. Like, you are that man. Like, you're mad because they're talking about you. Let it go. Like, the show is great. 30 minutes, it's solid.
But adding another layer to it, I think it's perfect because She-Hulk really is the character who was a liberated woman. And like, you know, she was the one that brought that in. When my favorite run of the Fantastic Four is when She-Hulk came and joined the team and she replaced the Thing. And her and Sue like connected on that because she was like, girl, lighten up. Like, let's go have some fun. And Sue was like, yeah, I want to have fun, but there's never a girl around for me to do that. So like, I think that like, you know, She-Hulk is that. So I love that they're doing that in her show. You know, let her be free.
She's having a good time. It feels very like true to She-Hulk's character. It feels very true to a lot of runs we've read before. She's breaking the fourth wall. She's having fun. She's going out and partying. She's like learning to embrace these things. I love the little interview she did at the end where they were asking her questions. She's like, well, actually, my name's just Jennifer Walters. And they're like, no. So how did you choose She-Hulk? Because she's like, I didn't choose it. And then it like changes. It's like, oh, she says it's a funny origin story. And it's just like, oh, these are all really good things. I love it. This is a good show.
I also don't think the CGI is nearly as bad as people are trying to make it out to be. Y'all, she is. The thing that's clicked for me was I feel like a lot of CGI previously for a character like Hulk, they would just CGI the character where they would just look more maybe like the comic book version and they really wouldn't look like a Hulk, you know, or like that actor turned into a Hulk. This to me feels like if Tatiana became a Hulk, that's what she would look like. They didn't like CGI the comic version of She-Hulk onto that. And for me, I don't know, it works. I think it looks good. There are some moments where she obviously look a little Gumby, yes, but like She-Hulk is not real. So like, what do you expect?
I think it looks like Marvel CGI.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think that's fine.
I think it looks like what I would expect from Marvel Studios.
I think that's fine. Please let us know what you guys think. Obviously, we're over here enjoying She-Hulk. Some of us have different opinions about the CGI, but let us know what you guys think. That brings us to the end of the show. Please rate and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Thank you so much for all of the support. You can find us at Another Relaunch on Twitter and Instagram. You can watch us on YouTube at Another Relaunch TV. You can find me on most social media platforms at Uncanny LZ. Keenan, where can they find you?
You guys know you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Keenan Lance. As always, there's an underscore.
Boom. All right, y'all. Let's get up out of here, and then we'll catch you next week.
Peace.
Peace out.